everyone's experience in the West, in terms of the things that keep us trapped, the things that keep us imprisoned, that keep us from creating real community. And of course, you know, it's money related when we start worshipping dollar signs instead of, you know, the stuff we're supposed to be, or the stuff that we kind of, our better nature knows we should be worshipping. Then we're in trouble and we're set against each other, and suddenly we're in competition as opposed to community. And, you know, that's one of the elements and themes of the film that I kind of got hit by in those first 30 pages. He's in a place of desperation, and he's in great need of a miracle, and, you know, the miracle doesn't come, or it comes in the body of a very dubious suspect. So yeah, he's absolutely in the middle of a crisis, and doing everything he can to keep his family home, to keep his family together, to keep his integrity as a man, to keep his sense of worth as a man in a culture that is telling him he's worthless. That was the scene that made me want to do the film. That was the scene that kind of made me have no choice but to make the film. So to get that right, I know that was vital to Ramin and all of us. So to film it was just incredibly difficult and painful and numbing. It was like a train was leaving to you know. It was like a train was leaving that you couldn't get off of, and it was heading somewhere like hell, you know. And I think we all can relate to that experience in some way. We've all been uprooted at some point in our lives. We've all been mistreated. We've all had our humanity and our pleas ignored. He had already kind of cleared the path into, you know, the housing crisis that hit the States, and that specifically hit Florida. So I was able to kind of, you know, he had found all of these incredible people to talk to, and I managed to see all of them, and found some others, that families that have been through, because for me it was all about the experience of the heart going through something like this. So I managed to sit with probably a dozen families in, you know, over the period of a couple of weeks, and some more than once, and just kind of listening, really, just listening. And it's amazing how excited, not excited is the wrong word, how they needed to tell the story. The deal with the devil, it's not for fame, it's not for riches, it's not for, you know, the seductive forces. It may become that in a way during the journey. There might be a little bit of like, oh, this feels really good, and actually maybe I can go further and further and further and keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and maybe I can defeat this system and be a part of this system and be one of the ones on the ivory tower, and then maybe I can help those my brothers and sisters, like who I've been in the same position as. So the deal with the devil never really felt like a deal with the devil. It always felt like it was for the purposes of, like, survival and love, because it felt like self-sacrifice, weirdly, for Dennis. As Dennis, it was like, well, I will do anything. I will go to work for this guy that I loathe in order to make sure my son, make sure my mother have a life as opposed to just surviving. The understanding that we need each other in order to live fulfilled lives. And for me, one of the big meaning, like maybe the greatest reason for us all to be here is to be with each other in a way that is deep in a way that is soul to soul, as opposed to, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Great. Okay, good. Good luck. Like, you know, that is the usual way we interact with each other. Because we're, well, I don't know why, but we're built to go deeper. And we all have those specific relationships in our lives that are lucky enough to go that deep. But I think the idea of creating real community is really, really tricky in the culture we're in, because the culture is, I believe, set up against us doing that. She's a force, and she's this incredible storyteller as well. So she's looking at the big picture, the small picture, and she's making sure that everyone is bringing out their best selves. She's a great mother in that respect. She's very nurturing and very kind of creating a safe space for everybody. She's she was the matriarch of the experience for all of us. Noah's instincts were better than anyone's about his role. You know, better than mine, better than Ramin's, better than his mother's, better than anyone's. Noah knew exactly what he was doing, because he was just like this raw, open being that was just present, and he's not yet all messed up like all of us adults. It's like the film has two worlds in it, and I just longed to always get back to the family world. Stuff with Rick was just painful to be a part of, and toxic and evil and sick, and you can feel, you know, even the way that Bobby shot it is very kind of cold, and the set design compared to what we were trying to do with the motel, what Alex D. Orlando did so beautifully. He created home in those motel rooms. He really made it through a lot of reference photos and whatever, and what Bobby did with the warmth of the camera and the warmth of the lighting within that family world compared to the starkness of success, you know, and how soulless success in this world is.